So the pandemic hits. And originally my full-time job, of course, everybody's working from home. So originally they did a company-wide pay cut. So they cut our salaries, I think. I forgot, but they cut our salaries maybe 20%. Maybe 20%. So I'm like, all right. Okay. I'm still freelancing, I think. Cause I still have design stuff.
Okay.
Still have design stuff. So even with people kind of backing off on the photography or
Still
not getting
working
married,
independently.
yeah, I still got my design stuff, and that stuff is still
You don't
coming
got to
through.
be in person for that. So you're like,
yeah.
okay.
So I still got that. And I think, was I still teaching? No, that's why I was going to start teaching.
Okay, before the pandemic hit.
So we had like planned out the entire. It was going to be a 6-month course. We had planned out the entire thing. It was supposed to be in person. Pandemic hit. We went to online only.
Okay.
So I got the that still worked out. Like they actually did better online. As far as the editing, because they can go back and review.
Do you feel like you can reach a broader group of students because you're online as well?
Yeah, so that actually worked out, but so I wasn't hurting for money, but then they gave us our salaries back.
Okay.
They gave us our salaries back, and they gave us back all the back pay that they owed us. Okay. And then that same week they did layoffs.
Oh.
40% of the company.
Son of a bee.
So that happened. And I remember the day because it was my daughter's birthday. I remember her like...
Wow, on your daughter's birthday.
But it's even worse because it's like you give me my pay back and you give me my back pay. Now you're going to just pull the rug from under me?
Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And during the time we had got new
was this like leadership. Right in the middle of the pandemic, or was it still kind of in the beginning?
No, it was beginning. So pandemic was what, like
March of 2020?
Yes, I was actually, it was crazy. I was actually doing a destination wedding in Key West, Florida Keys. And down there, they had like nothing was happening. This was Florida. Like, this was March. So I'm like, everybody at home tripping. Ain't nothing going on. Yeah. And I come home, and then a week later is when they shut everything down.
Okay.
So, like, that's March. Layoffs was May.
Wow, that's quick.
Yeah, her birthday's May 29th. So that was May. And I feel like we may have done the whole back, like, losing our salaries April. That might have been April, so that they can supposedly take care of operations and make sure everything else was straight. So they gave that back, and then they did the layoffs. But they had brought in new leadership, and that's usually what they do. Like, they do a complete overall, bring in their own team and all that other stuff. It just happened to... I feel like that would happen regardless of the pandemic. It just made it worse because it was a global pandemic going on at the time. So then from there, I'm like...
Yeah, did you take us through like what you were going through internally when that happened? Like, you just literally got the rug pulled out from under you. So what were your thoughts first? Like,
holy shit,
yeah.
I gotta figure this out. I was like, I gotta figure this out. I was like, I got my side stuff.
Yeah.
And that was decent. That was decent. I was making pretty decent money from that. But the weddings were about to stop.
Right.
So I'm like, the wedding's gonna stop, but I have this income coming in from...
Still got income coming in. Because I know that was good, because I knew a lot of people that their only focus was weddings. They made great money in it, but once those weddings dried up, they had zero. They didn't have anything else going at all. So that was, scary times.
Yeah, so it was that. It was during... I'm trying to think. It was more... Again, I still had my design stuff. Photo shoots were kind of stelling out. So I don't think people was really doing
So at that time, it was kind of hard to see where your next move was. I
was like, I gotta find a job.
Yeah,
I was
especially during the pandemic, because you're like, well, we can't even be in person. So what?
I was like, I have to find another job. I was not thinking full time. I was like, I gotta find another job.
That's your first instinct.
Yeah. Let me just go in and interview all these places. And my daughter at the time had a cyst, like a random cyst appeared on her eyebrow, and I had to like get that removed. So my insurance, I'm trying to figure out my insurance too. I think I was on Cobra. Cobra for a month was like $1,000.
Yeah.
It was insane. It was insane. And I had leave, so I got like the lump sum from all my pay from that. So I had like a good couple of months worth. And I was like, I gotta take care of her stuff. And then I ended up like finding like private insurance, which was pretty much the same rate that I was getting at work. So I was like, all right, this is cool. And the coverage is great. Like I still have that.
Okay.
Coverage is great. Took care of her sis. Now it's just like, all right, let me figure out the job situation. And at that time I was like, I need to go just be in the government. I need to just be in the government, just be steady, go ahead and get like the retirement and all that stuff. So I must have applied for like almost every, they call that like visual specialist. I think that's the titles I was looking under. Okay. And because that was like graphic design, some of that stuff was like video. All of it was like exactly what I was trying to do. And there was a few openings at the museums. And there was one I really wanted. I really wanted like the Gallery of Art. And I would always get to like the second round, and they would like nothing else would happen. Okay. So I must have filled out probably like 10 or 12 of those. And then at the same time, I'm still doing like my side stuff. So I'm still maintaining, everything's still fine. And then I'm still teaching. So I'm good. I'm like, I still just need to find this stability. Yeah. So full time, like I need something full time. And then there's this company. He's a private contractor. And I remember I was trying to get on with him. He needed more help before the pandemic. Okay. And he was going to, I sent in my portfolio, and he liked it. And he was like, when he gets more funds, he was going to reach out to me. And I don't know how, I guess he got more funds during the pandemic. So he reached out.
The PPP.
And he has a contract with NSA.
Okay.
So I started doing stuff for them. So in the process, I was like, I'm going to get a government clearance. And then we were trying to go through that, him bringing me on full time, but I was getting like part time during the time from him. I'm still there, but the work is not steady.
So you still have a clearance to him and everything?
No, I didn't end up getting a clearance. Gotcha. So to work with them, I can only do jobs that don't require the security stuff. So I'm not on site. Gotcha. So they'll email me if they need certain stuff. And they're doing like more, it's not even on the high security end. They're doing more recruiting. Okay. So I help when they're trying to do like more college recruiting and helping with like the collateral for that stuff, for them to get on board like new students and college graduates and stuff. Okay. So, and that salary was great. Like that's easily, I think it's like $67 an hour. So I'm like, oh yeah, go ahead and give me these hours. So when those hours coming through, like those hours are coming through, and it's making up for anything I'm losing from like my previous my full-time job. So like, and during that time that was steady. So I'm like, all right.
During the pandemic too.
That was crazy steady. And we really was like still banking on this clearance. So I'm like, all right, I'm about to just do that full-time thing there and still do my freelance stuff. So that stuff didn't end up clearing. I think they didn't have the money in their budget for it. I didn't know you gotta pay for the clearance.
It's like $10,000 or something.
Yes, and I think it might have gone up. Yeah. So it was like something crazy, especially for there, since it's NSA. It's like pretty much a double clearance. So that didn't go through because they didn't have the funding for it. So he had talked to me about how he was probably going to reach out to other agencies. So he was like, how far you want to travel? I was like, well, anything within like DMV area, Northern Virginia, that stuff is fine. So he said he was going to look into other agencies. And so I don't know if those contracts came through or not, but I was maintaining with that too. So that was cool. And then people started getting married again. Like they started
late in the year.
Yeah, even though like, I think during the time sometimes they might have, I don't want to say they went against COVID, but it's like as soon as stuff started, as soon as stuff started easing up a little bit, they're like, we getting married. Or they had super small intimate stuff. Yeah. And it don't matter. That price is still the price.
Oh,
so
for sure.
I'm still there 8 hours. It's still, I don't care if it's in your backyard. Yeah, we can get married in your backyard. It's still the same price. So those weddings really started picking up. And Yeah, so that 2021 was a good year.
Yeah, 2020. Well, I'll say for most people it was kind of like the bounce back year. Things kind of opening back up.
Yeah, so up until like the end of 2020, I was good. Like I figured everything out.
Okay.
Did
you feel stable?
No, I was still applying for stuff.
Okay.
Like I was still
so
applying.
You still were. Even
and
though
then
you were able to maintain, you were still trying to apply for stuff. Okay.
And then I stopped when the contracting thing came through. So I feel like that came through in maybe November.
Okay.
So that's when I stopped applying. So then I was banking on, okay, we'll do the clearance and we'll figure this out. Which I think then we didn't even talk about that until the beginning of 2021.
Okay.
But because that part-time money was so good, I was like, this is cool. If these hours come in the way that they're coming in, I'm good. Like I'm making more. So I was good.
So at this point you were making more than what you had at your previous your full-time job.
I was making more doing my side stuff plus that part-time because of the hours that was coming through. And
so did that kind of give you the indicator there too? Kind of like, oh, I can do this.
No, not yet.
Not yet?
Because that part-time was still like a chunk of that.
I see. Okay.
So then when he's like, all right, we can do it full-time, like clearance. And I was like, yeah, I'm interested. I was like, because I can still do my side stuff. And he was like, yeah, you can. So that didn't go through. Weddings picked up. The hours there started dying down. Then it would be like here and there. Money still looking okay. I'm like, all right, that's fine. Put my daughter in private school.
Wow.
I'm able to pay that. So I'm like, all right, I'm good. Like I'm good. I can pay this. And I'm good. So the end of, I wasn't looking for any other jobs. I guess it was a lot of work. So I wasn't at that time. I'm like, I ain't looking for anything else. Like
but at this point, you're totally free of a traditional 9 to 5, and you're kind of like in it
for a long time. I was free of that. May 29th. I was free of the
of 2020.
I was free of the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Because even that part-time stuff, that's work when you want to.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm looking at that like this is side work too. Because I can work when I want. They just need it by a certain day. So I'm factoring all that in as to me working under MD2 Studios. Even though
if the checks still come to me.
Yeah. So that's to me I'm factoring all that in. So, okay, I'm doing
you're self-employed at this time.
But I wasn't calling it that. I was like, now I got this part-time and I'm still doing this side
You still
stuff.
hadn't totally like
no, it wasn't
come to in mind like, oh, I'm actually out on my own now. Totally, it's kind of like you just thinking this is temporary, this part time.
I got this part time that's going to turn to a full security clearance and a full time job. So this side MD2 Studio is cool. All right, I'm still doing this graphic stuff and photo and video stuff that I love.
Because in your mind, you're like, I still feel like I gotta have this in order to be stable.
Yeah. I got this new private school expense because I refused to send her somewhere else. So it's like I gotta figure this out. So 2021, the end of that, again, no 9 to 5. Part-time sparingly, like not a lot, but strictly MD2 Studios or partnering with Daryl on his stuff. And I did my taxes. I did my taxes for 2021. And I feel like I kind of do my taxes pretty early. It might be that year I might have waited. So I may have gone like April.
Later in the year.
So I may have gone like straight to April.
Okay.
And I did them. And I saw how much I made. And I was like,
yeah, you kind of blew yourself away.
Yeah.
Because you probably didn't keep in mind how much you were making along the way. And then when you added up, you're like,
how much I made, then like my tax person, I'm sure he hates me because I don't have any expense stuff done. So we're like,
so you had, at that time, you hadn't like written off anything, that.
I had stuff in my mind.
Okay.
I had stuff in my mind.
But you didn't have like record of it.
No, he's like, yo, you made such and such. We need to be able to write off this amount. So what are we doing? So we on the call and I'm like, what's this?
Trying to find some things like, well, I went on this trip, but we did a little business there. So Does it fall under? Can we write that off?
Yeah, he's great. He's great. He was so patient. He was just like, look, we ain't doing this shit next year. He's like, you better take care of it next year. So, yeah. So this year, 2022, I guess I made it official. Oh, I don't even know when I did the rebrand. I think I did the rebrand maybe. When did I start that? Maybe beginning of this year.
What was your reason of doing the rebrand?
To add in video stuff. I was like, studio don't make sense. So I'm like creative.
Because everything's not in studio. Some stuff is
Yeah. Even the idea of a traveling studio, it don't make sense with design. It didn't make sense with design. And I was like, it's just creative. It's like I've been creative my whole life. So that makes more sense. So I changed that. I'm like, I'm gonna rebrand. I'm gonna go full time. I'm teaching still. And I think I like re-registered like the new business name and stuff in July.
Okay. So at this moment, you're teaching. You have your creative stuff. Are you still doing the part time as well?
I'm still under them.
You still under them?
But
it's dried up a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've done, I don't know, like not even $10,000 worth.
Okay.
It's not the bulk of
not at all. Not at all. And so that to me has been,
but it served its purpose.
Yeah, it definitely likes. And when it comes in, I'm always like, all right, cool. Like it's extra money. But I don't know. I think I find myself asking, like, even if he was to offer me a full time right now, would I even take it? Like, would I even take that? And
that's a good problem to have. If
yeah. And I have a friend who recently got another job, and they had openings that's completely within my scope of work that she sent me. And I think I saw something about you gotta be in the office like Tuesdays through Thursdays.
Like, you've already gotten a taste of making your own schedule, so it's hard. It would be hard to. Is
that, then plus I'm like dropping my daughter off and picking her up from school, her schedule. I'm like, I don't want to do this. And it was probably like 2 or 3 openings that I could easily like apply for. And then part of me was like, I should just apply and just interview just to see and get that experience and stuff. Now it's just like, man, I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like pulling together a portfolio. I don't feel like doing any of this.
Resume, all of that stuff.
I don't feel like doing any of this. This is fine.
To get knocked down.
I got these weddings I need to edit. And
right.
So I was.
So you're basically going 100 miles an hour, then you're like, hey, well, I'm good. Yeah. Okay.
Right now, I'm terrified, but
getting into that then. So let's get into the mind of an entrepreneur then, because I think a lot of times on social media, it's made, the way people sell entrepreneurship on social media is totally like backwards. Because they make it seem like it's all, everybody's just a rock star, everybody's just having fun. I'm not saying, don't make good money, but it's just, they make it seem as if we just doing the work, we getting paid, we don't have any, like, I look at every day as a bunch of problems to solve. Like, they don't show all of that. It's just made to look like this glamorous thing where it's really not. So kind of talk about a little bit of some of the non-glamorous things that you've experienced as far as being your own boss now.
Ooh, non-glamorous things.
Yes. Things that are like kind of like you have to do, but it's
that administrative work.
Yeah, just because work, busy work.
Yeah, it's definitely the administrative stuff. I think like even before I came in here, remember I was like, I'm answering these emails before I come in,
right?
Because it's just. Yeah, it's more so the administrative stuff. Like you say, when I'm under Daryl, he handles all that. Right. So I don't gotta think about it. I just show up, do the work, deliver it, and I'm done. Here, it's like start to finish. I gotta negotiate it. I gotta schedule it. I have to chase down for invoices sometimes. I have to make sure the deliverables are good. Then also track all my stuff. Like it's a lot.
It sounds draining.
It can be.
Yeah.
Because especially like when you're a creative. So it's like
yes, that's the biggest part.
When you get to the creative part, now you're so drained. It's like, how do you balance that out? That way when you get to the creative part, you're not just like, let me get this done, because you wanted to get it done and move on to the next, and you actually being creative with it.
Basically, you had to create the wheel. Now you got to drive the car too at the same time. It's two-step process.
But how do you balance that?
I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a work in progress for a while, to be honest. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it right now. But yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a work in progress. I'm going to have to see what works, what doesn't work. I wish I could find somebody exactly like me. I wish I had a twin that I could just be like, yo, just do.
Here you go.
Yeah, just do this part, or we can go half and half. Some days I'll do this, some days you do that. But like right now, it's some days it works, and then you find out, and like a certain client, that same process doesn't work well for them. So it's more so trying to find something that is very streamlined and adaptable to every situation, which is difficult. Yes, it's definitely a work in progress. I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, but as time goes on, do you feel like some things get a little easier as they go? You kind of just get thicker skin, whereas like early on, I can say in my experience, when you had my first time where I had to chase a client down for payment, is you don't foresee stuff like that. Then after a while, you kind of put systems in place to make sure that you don't have to, certain things anymore. Like I said, you get burned to learn. So like I've had a client before totally stiff me on something because I didn't get a deposit up front and stuff like that. So what are some things have you done to kind of mitigate things that you may have experienced in the beginning, as far as getting burned, so it wouldn't happen again?
Definitely a deposit up front. I do a deposit up front, and usually I need to be more strict with this. Usually I get the money before you get the stuff.
Right.
Especially when it comes to photography and video, because I showed up. I showed up. So you should know your deliverables are coming.
Right.
So give me my money first before you get this. Design, same way.
Yeah.
Like if we've been going through this process the entire time, you've seen the end result, you just don't have these files yet. So give me my money, then I'll give you the file. So it's a little easier in that aspect. But then you have like some clients like, oh, I won't have till Friday, but I gotta put this out this day. And you're kind of like,
okay.
Yeah. And sometimes I'll cave, especially if it's a client that I've worked with before.
Okay.
That I think that they're good for it.
Yeah.
But even sometimes they'll be good for the first couple months. Then
they'll fall off the wagon.
Yeah, I'm like, and you go off the history. You're kind of like, oh, well, they've been good for these couple times. I can let this one slide. As soon as you let that first one slide, like sometimes that's not everybody. Some people do keep their word. It's like, oh, I got you on Friday, and Friday come, and you don't even gotta ask them for it. And then it's just, how long of a grace period do I give before I'm kirking out? Like, where's my money? Like, where's my money? You have your stuff. Where's my money? And how do you find a solution for that? Because contract or not, am I really about to go to court for this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Am I really about to pay a lawyer and figure
you
figure
gonna burn
this
more money
out?
trying to get it?
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm gonna burn more money than what you even owe me. So, and I don't know if people take that into account when they sign the contracts, but that's definitely my mind state when it's like 30 days past due. And I'm like,
yeah.
Like, what we doing here? So, but luckily I haven't had any clients completely just not pay.
Okay.
They've been late. I've had to hound them down. And we just don't work together.
Stop answering your phone calls.
Yeah.
Call from a different number or something.
Right, right. I'm like, I ain't trying to be no bill collector. The ones that I'm hanging up on myself. Or
I've actually had
just
to go
like
to a payphone before just to track down somebody.
Really?
Yeah. I had to drive to a payphone. This is years ago.
I say, what year is this? You have like Google numbers and
It was
stuff
like 2012.
That, right? I say, where you find a payphone?
Because it wouldn't answer anybody's cell. It was at a 7-Eleven on 301.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I'm just saying, it's like Miesha was saying, some crazy stuff sometimes you do to get your money.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like, oh, I need that. It's just the fact that I did the work. So you need to pay your invoice.
I get it.
I have one client right now, and they're great. Like, they paid like half up front. And I'm working on their stuff. And she was like, look, like, let me know when the next invoice is due. And she like kept asking me. I'm like, let me just go ahead and send them an invoice. Mm-hmm. Even though like they don't got paid yet, but I'm like, I'll just go ahead and send it for like, I guess peace of mind. I don't know. I don't know if they're like want to give it to me because they know they have it right now. Because like, let me just go ahead and send it. So I have like something like that. It's like, I didn't get the invoice. Can you send me the invoice? And some who, hey, have you seen this invoice that came through? And they don't respond. I'm like, what the hell? So you ain't see it? Oh yeah, I saw it. I got you. Like, yo, can you just say that up front? Yeah. Say this when I'm shooting it. Say this when we're negotiating. Just be like, hey, I won't have the money to this day. I got it this day. Can we move this back a little bit? And I'm willing to accommodate your needs. Like it's fine. To me, sometimes I'm like, it's a partnership. So talk to me so that we can figure out how to remedy this situation. Because you want the product, you want the service done. So just let me know what you need, and I'll try my best to accommodate you. Like I'm more so like trying to figure out a solution before I'm going to just tell you no.
Exactly.
So let's see if we can figure this out. But I'd rather you just be upfront as opposed to, I'm just not going to say anything. I'm just going to ignore this email, but I'll respond to this one.
Right.
Like,
lack of communication.
Yeah.
I'm going to share a real quick story about that. Years ago, had a client that somebody referred to me and another cinematographer that I brought in on the gig. He did not. This was before I started sending out invoices. Before we did the job, and he agreed I will send the payments in the next hour through Venmo or Cash App or whatever. Did not get the payment. So I have a friend reach out to me and say, "Hey Joe, I'm doing the photography for this wedding coming up in the next month. I need you to do the video." I said, no problem. So I'm working under him for the day. I show up to the wedding. Guess who the groom is? The client. And he looked so spooked. And he was like, I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to take care. It was the oddest thing that ever happened. Like, this is the guy I've been chasing, and
Did he take care of it?
Oh, he did with extra.
Okay. He was probably waiting for that day to get the money from the guests. But it's like, say something.
And it was one of those weddings where there's no planner, and it was a total dud, you know. But just funny story when it came to chasing people down for invoices.
That's funny.
I mean, now it's funny.
Now
it's funny. Now it's funny. At the time, it was not.
Like, I did all this work and you not trying to pay me.
Yeah, now it's not. So this is a really, really broad question. So what do you do in those times where things slow down or the phone stops ringing for a little while? What goes through your mind?
I mean, I try not to panic. Right? I try not to panic. And I think about where I have steady income coming, and that's right now from teaching. So steady income is the teaching. I got a couple retainers. So I'm like, okay, I got a couple retainers. I got that coming in.
Because have you experienced any peaks and valleys?
Yeah, I had 1 month that was like crazy. 1 month was like insane, and then
it's raining money, huh?
Yeah, I was like, PayPal telling me I'm about to see how much money I can get, and I'm like, the hell is this? I ain't never seen this message for.
That's a good problem.
Yeah, so they're like, you about to reach the max of what you can accept, so call us and we can up that amount. I'm like, I'm not calling y'all. I'll just tell them to wait till next month.
Roll it over.
To send this money through. Cash out me instead or something. But yeah, so some months are really, really great.
Yeah.
Like even now, like wedding season, I mean, wedding season's good, but it slows down around September. I was like, so I gotta figure out these last couple months and then begin next year and stuff like that. But I just try to remain calm. I try to remain calm, and something usually comes through.
Right.
And it's usually something big that I can spread the money out. But again, also know I don't market I haven't even fully marketed myself. So that to me provides like some sort of relief because I'm like, I haven't fully put this out. It'd be different if I'm like,
exhausted. Yeah, all your marketing.
Right. Like drowning like in your face, like nonstop and ain't nobody calling. Like that would be a different story. But
you probably start to like doubt yourself.
Yeah.
Like, wow, nobody calling me now. I done did
like,
everything. What's going on?
All this stuff. Like they know I'm full time. Nobody need nothing. Like that's when you start. Yo, you need a photo shoot. Like you need this or that done. But yeah, right now, like I know I haven't fully rebranded. I haven't fully pushed everything else I do for other brands. Right. I haven't done for myself yet. Promotion. Even now my business is still more so like word of mouth than anything. Referrals. So I don't even think I really have people who have found me just strictly online. That at least has like turned into some type of revenue for me. Like they might hit me on Instagram. And I get now why people put like business inquiries through email only, because Instagram ones is always some
random questions.
Random questions like they don't got no money. It's always it's as simple as that. Like I got this idea and then you done sat there and really
Can you call and let's talk about it? Like
you ever get somebody want to do a rap video?
No, I don't get rap videos. No, I haven't gotten a rap video.
Would you do one?
Depends on the rapper.
Okay.
Depends on how good the rapper is, or
depends on how good the rapper is. Depends on their money.
So what's your idea of good though? Like what's the bar?
I can't do it can't be a mumble rapper. I don't know. They gotta be talking about something. If it's music, I think that's a lot of my clients are kind of has to be something that I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Like
does it fall within your lane?
Yeah, my moral compass is still kind of probably too high for a business owner. Because I turn down stuff. I can turn down stuff in a second and be okay with it. If it's something that doesn't align with either my brand or what my beliefs or stuff I value. If it goes against that, I'm not going to do it. Like there's like I don't know. I would hope that people done some research to know I'm not the person for you.
Okay.
And I'm okay with referring people. Like I have students. Like people hit me a lot for sports gigs.
Okay.
I do not want to record basketball games. That is not what I want to do.
It's not creative to you.
It's not creative. Yeah. I do not just want to sit. And I got to sit there. It'd be different if I can just hit the camera and just bounce and come back when the game is over. But I got to sit here through your kids missing all these shots. I'm like, I don't.
And then try to shine it up.
It is shine it up. Yeah.
Well, like sometimes they only want the footage. But it's just like, God, I'm like, I got male students. Oh, all right, I'm just going to go ahead and send this to the student. And even that, I might start. I think I probably should start just like negotiating a price and just getting a cut of that since I referred them. I haven't done that yet because I know that they're trying to build their stuff too. But I'm gonna start doing that. If I do refer, I'm gonna just get my cut from that. I'm like I have people that I think can fit this. Like I think I know someone who can probably do a mumble rappers video. That I would just like, hey, they can do it.
You can still make some money off of it.
Yeah. Or even, I don't trust too many people to shoot it and I edit. I don't edit behind people's footage. Okay. The first time I done it was Durrell's. And I still do his because I know his shooting style. And I've done it behind my students because I taught them. So I know that they'll get what needs to be got. And I can edit and it'll be okay. But other than that, I think I did one other person stuff and it felt weird. It turned out okay, but he was originally supposed to do the edit. But the client, he was taking too long. He had passed all the deadlines. I think when he first sent the first cut, the client hated it. Wow. So she like found me and I recut it. I'm like, you talk to him about it? I was like, cause I don't like me as a creative, I don't know how I would feel about it. I think I would be okay. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna charge you double for this footage. Go ahead and let somebody else cut it. So I think her contract may have been already stated that she gets the footage. So I remember I asked her, like, how does he feel about the final? She's like, I don't care. I was like, okay. But His stuff was decent. It was decent. He didn't capture any B-roll though.
Oh,
And I was like,
that makes it hard to edit.
I'm like, okay. So I had to like find some stock stuff to add in. And I was like, yeah, this dude didn't capture no B-roll. So it was like certain things I saw in there that I wouldn't have done, but the footage itself was pretty decent. Like it was good. But if a situation like that comes along, I never take the job. I'm always telling them I gotta see the footage first.
Right.
Like I have to see it to even like let you know if I can cut this. Otherwise, like I'll turn that down.
And now you briefly talked about teaching. Now, did you start that avenue of teaching based off of the pandemic and knowing that you can do it remotely, or did you say that you were going to do it anyway before the pandemic?
Before the pandemic, Daryl pushed me into it.
Okay.
So he does some photography classes. He also has like someone else does Photoshop out of there, and then he said that photo is going to slowly die out. So he said we kind of gotta go ahead and get some more like video people, and then my workload too.
He said that he thinks photo is slowly gonna die out.
Yeah. As far as, and this is many things. It's social media. It's people at weddings with their cell phones. So certain things are gonna die out. I don't know if it'll be our lifetime, but I definitely think it'll slow down. I think it'll get to the point where important stuff will still have real photographers. Even now, I think they're making like these camera phones are like they're making them even better. So, and it's so like accessible. Everybody think they can do it. Yeah. I think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna die out. I think the profession is gonna struggle. I definitely think photographers are gonna struggle in the future.
So they have to adapt to include video and other things in order for them to stay.
And that's where we are now. Like everything comes back around, but I think I definitely think it'll eventually like be very difficult for photographers to find work. Like I think weddings will always be a thing, and I think like again like big events will always be a thing, but other branding shoots, sure, but now they can probably do a branding shoot on the phone and think that it's okay. It's more so the thought process.
Think it's okay.
It's the thought process of it's going like this is fine. This is totally fine, and as long as people keep buying into it, it is totally fine. Even if aesthetically we don't like it, even if we know this isn't how it's supposed to look, if
there's no lighting and nothing. That is not, just
everything's HDR'd on your phone. Like it's instant. It's so instant. Again, like so accessible to everybody. So I think it will struggle a little bit. So I think that was kind of his mind state. Like, okay, we got to get some more video people.
Yeah, but that's good for him to have the foresight to think ahead and set aside maybe what he feels and saying that regardless of how I feel, this is the landscape of things in media now, and we need to be able to adapt in order so we can stay alive and continue to do what we love to do.
Yeah, so he pushed me into teaching. He was like, I think you can. I'm like, all right. So I tried it, and I had one student who she entered the alpha female like Sony stuff that they were doing, and she won for her video.
Wow.
And you have no video experience.
Really?
And she's one of my go-tos.
Did she stamp your name as this the person who taught me?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
She always give me my props. She's great. Like she's great. So she's one of my go-tos. I got two others that if I need some backup, I'm like I can send them, and they'll take care of it. They'll take care of it.
How old are they? What's their age range?
About maybe like 40s.
Okay.
The other one.
So age varies.
Then early.
Okay.
The other one's probably like around our age.
Okay.
Yeah, that can fill in for me if I need them to. Like I'm working on this series with a personal trainer who's doing this little weight loss journey now, and we've been doing like 2-week shoot schedules.
Okay.
And I don't think I brought Daryl was second shooting with me. He was out of town for one, so I brought my student, and she like knocked it out. And I was like, okay, I might be out of town for the next ones. Are you good to shoot this? And she said she is. So if I'm out of town, like I'll give that to her. Okay. And like of course I'll still edit it, but I just need somebody I know can capture it so I can keep the schedule that he originally intended going, unless he wants to change it. But yeah, so
is that something that you are interested in down the line? Like you've had students shoot for you. Did you ever think about the possibility of for your company having like other photographers and videographers where it's like maybe you don't take as many shoots, they're doing more of the shooting and you're kind of more controlling the back end of it, even though I was just glad to get there because you're naturally creative, so the business stuff is like not fun for you. So it's like I guess you would still have to have a hand in the creative process as well in some regard.
Yeah, to some degree. I think that's the difference between why I was like a designer for so long versus like being an art director.
Okay.
I like doing it too.
Right.
Like I don't
you want to be hands-on.
Yeah. And even if it's me starting it or me finishing it or whatever, like I gotta have that creative outlet. Like I need that right now. I don't mind, like I would hope that down the road I can really blow this thing up and really make the S in creatives mean something more than just it being me encompassing all these different mediums into one. But creatives is more than just me. I got a whole team, people that really believe in the brand that wanted to come on board and be a part of something. So that's my hopes for it in the future. Okay. But yeah, I think like God willing, as long as I can be, I would definitely like to be hands-on. Like I like the creative side.
It sounds like you're already doing. I mean, you're teaching people how to do the craft, and you teach them how to do it a way that's under your liking as well. So it sounds like you're already creating a network of people that in the near future probably can take on more work and create that brand and create that team that you desire. So it looks like you're on the right path.
Yeah, I hope so. So. I won't. Hindsight's 2020. Remember, so we'll see down the road how if I stay on this path. Like I hope I do. It's been fun. It's been challenging. I think a lot of stuff has been pushing me in this direction I've just been ignoring for a long time. Like me being stagnant in certain jobs. The layoffs forcing me into this, even though like in my mind, like I would be at work doing side stuff. So it was already it was
right was on the wall.
It was heading this direction. I was just like, no, I need this full time. So I was really pushing it off to the back of my mind, like always, until I was pushed into it.
Do you think that also comes from, the fact that most of us, when we grow up, we see our moms and our dads work a regular job. So it's kind of like ingrained in us where it's like, that's what we're originally programmed to do is I need a 9-to-5. I need that stability. And then when, like you said, the pandemic came and forced your hand, and even though you were still looking for a 9-to-5, you slowly kind of got out of that program and said, okay, I can do this. It's okay for me to do this full time. Did you have any pushback from any friends or family originally? Maybe somebody coming along and saying, oh, you can't do that full time. You can't make any money doing that. You need something stable or anything like
or
that.
Or your little business,
Your
little business.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, it's your little business?
What little business? Knock you out.
I think for me, because I kind of have like Daryl right there, it's been a lot easier. Okay. I think if it was only me, they've been like, that's when they would have been calling it a little business. But because I work with him so much and like the celebrity stuff with him, so they know like he has a full-time job. People don't know that.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know he did.
He's government. He's been government for.
It looks like that's what he does.
Yeah, he has a full-time job.
He has a good job of doing that, because I'm thinking, oh, he runs the studio full time.
Nah, he has a full-time job.
Okay,
like government workers.
Yeah, so he does work though, but but yeah, he has a full-time job. But I think that's helped me. That's definitely helped me as far as the can you do it aspect, because he, like you said, you thought he was full time. So like, yeah, she can probably do it too, because she works with him all the time. So she's getting the business. I definitely think if it was by myself, I don't think my parents would be against it. I think they would still be like, okay, all right.
But you need to have something back.
She's not asking us for any money, so I guess she's
Oh,
good.
yeah.
I think that's like the biggest thing. I've never had to have you bail me out, or I need this, or if anything, I'm loaning you something, or I'm helping you. So I think that they've been supportive in that realm, or like just very understanding. Okay, I think she'll be okay. And she's been fine. Like like Maya's in school, like this is happening on her extracurricular. She's balancing all this stuff. Like I think she'll be okay. And even if this happens to fold, she will figure something out.
Right.
Like she'll bounce back. She'll figure something out. But and then as far as friends, they've just been like, oh, that's great. Like, are you full time? That's nice. Okay, cool. So they've been supportive. They haven't really been negative about it. I think the pandemic helped with that too, because there was so many people. I gotta make some extra money. So everyone has like some type of side hustle, something. I'm just making this my full time hustle. So I think people understand the idea of like you wanting to own your own. That's been very like trendy, right? That's been the trend right now. So I think that's helped too. It's not surprising that someone wants to go full time. That's the trend right now. But I'm not doing it
20 years ago.
Yeah. But in our cases, we're not doing it for a trend. Like this is actually what we're trying to do, and we understand like it has its hurdles. Like we're going to have to climb over them. We want to fall. We want to get back up. It's gonna be good days, bad days. Some days we're gonna want to quit, and we know like this is our only income, so we gotta figure this shit out.
So say you encounter somebody and they want to do the same thing that you're doing, and they're young, but they don't want to go to college. What would you recommend to them how to get into the field and learn the trade?
I don't think you have to go to college, but I think you need some type of training. Like you need some type of training. And I think like I'm not a fan of the self-taught people, or the people who claim that they're self-taught, because you're not. Even if you're on YouTube, you're not self-taught. Self-taught is you picking up a camera and doing everything and not looking up anything. That's self-taught. Like strictly trial and error. Like not looking at a single tutorial on how to do this Premiere stuff. And people they don't claim that at all. They're so like, no, I'm a self-taught photographer. No, I'm self-taught. School for what? And they don't get the foundation. Like what school does, not just college. Again, it can be any type of like a mentor, anybody. It gives you the foundation that you can't get by like doing it on your own. Like you won't get that. And then what YouTube doesn't do, like if you don't know, you don't ask, right? So what questions do you know to ask? Aside from the ones that are already in your mind, which isn't all the questions that you need to know in order to do this correctly. So I would definitely be like, yo, find a mentor. Find a mentor. They got online classes. My idea is always like pay for something. You got to pay for something.
Nothing's
like,
free.
Yeah.
And you take it serious though.
You're going to have to pay. You're going to have to pay for something. I'm not saying spend like thousands like we have for school. Like, no, you don't have to do that. But like even with my student loans, I love the route I took. Like I wouldn't have got that foundation anywhere else. The way that they've like how I can bounce around, I got that from that school. So I think that's where I'll be like you need some type of training.
So some structure
training, mentor.
Something.
So a lot of times in the creative field, there's preconceived, like there's stereotypes, like you can't make money doing that full time. Like, are there any stereotypes that you've experienced, or even especially of female of color in the industry? Have you experienced any stereotypes?
Yeah, I'm every time someone, if I'm referred for something, or if someone tags me on any type of job things, I always see a bunch of guys. Always a bunch of guys. It's always a bunch of guys.
Wow. Yeah.
It's very saturated. It's very saturated. Like, we stand out instantly, especially when it comes to like the film industry. When I was on set for I did videography, like BTS stuff for Janelle's Audi commercial.
Okay.
I was the only Black woman on set other than Janelle and her team. I was the only woman that touched the camera. But they were super cool. Like, they were cool. They definitely, the staff, like the whole crew looked out. They were like, "Are we in your shot?" Like, they were very respectful. Like, I wasn't expecting that. I definitely wasn't expecting that. There was like one other woman on set who was actually with production, and I don't even think she touched the camera. I'm not sure exactly what she did, but I had to do. They test your lenses to calibrate them and make sure it's some technology they have. So they tested all my lenses, and the guy was from Germany, and because I think that's where Audi is originated from, and he was testing my lenses, and he said that they put everything in the system so that it can give you all the details of like the car stuff. So I guess it completely like, it's something on their graphics end where they can already have the type of lens placed in their system that I'm using, and then I don't know if it'll color grade everything. It does something, but he had me do like these different tests on these like checkerboards.
So they wanted to make sure that the lens was going to properly reproduce the colors that were needed.
The colors and everything else that was needed. So like, he was super helpful. Like, he had me test all the lenses I was going to use, and like, he told me everything to do, recorded it, sent them all the B-roll. Other guys, again, like, they was like, "Are we in your spot?" So they was just like very respectful. But I definitely, like, there's like a bunch of like white guys on set. I'm like, okay. And the only other Black guy on set, aside from like Daryl and the other guy he brought along with us, was the guy doing sound. So he was Black, but other than that, like, it's very, and that was shot in LA. So we shot that in LA.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit, working on that project with Janelle.
Oh, that was cool.
Is that your first time working with a celebrity?
No, I've worked with her before.
Okay.
But that was, her team brought in Daryl, so they wanted stills. And they know that she works with him on a lot of stuff. So I guess her team was like, "Well, we have a photographer to use for it." So this was all the stuff that would be used for all the marketing, so like the billboards and all that. So we met with Audi, because we didn't talk to her. We didn't talk to her till we saw her on set. So the communications were strictly through Audi, their team, and the production team. So production team, they hired. That's how like ads and stuff work. They hire an ad agency. They storyboard everything, and then they fund them, and then they deliver everything. So it's not Audi. Audi hires
the agency.
Yes.
Got it.
So they hired film agency out there to do the project, and they worked with them on the storyboard and everything they wanted to do. So they filled us in, sent us some of the storyboards that they currently had in the works. So we did like Zoom calls with them. So the Audi team was maybe like 4 women that we spoke to, and then the team that was leading, I don't know how big the film company is that they use, but whoever they had on this part, like, we worked with them. So we had the meeting with the women from Audi first via Zoom, and they went over like the stuff that they wanted as far as the photography, and then for video they went over everything as far as the shots. And then I asked them like simple, like, what frame rates you want, like shot sizes are you interested in, 4K, like what you need. So they was like, oh, let us ask. So they asked, got me back all the information. And then we flew out. I think we were on set. Is it 3 days? It might be a 3-day shoot. So I think they had not 3 locations, but I think it was a 3-day shoot, if I'm not mistaken, or 2-day. I know one was on top of this new apartment complex. So we were on top of there.
So they had the car on top of the complex.
Cool. Yeah, so they had the car up there, and that was going to be like a morning scene. So it was overcast that day. So I had these like huge lights and created sunlight, like completely created sunlight. Wow. And made it look like dawn. Like it was crazy. It was an overcast day. It did not look like that. So we shot there first. They had a stand-in for her for a while. So they got like any shots where it's like her walking or simply like simple stuff that you can cut and not tell that it's her. So the girl was like her shape and everything. So she stood in for a lot of it.
Oh,
and
really?
Then,
So she's done most of it, you would say?
She did a good amount. Like there was her stuff of her walking that she had to do multiple takes. There was her actually in the car.
Wow.
She had to do multiple takes. They had her hair. Because I remember they was like, how is Janelle's hair going to be? And her stylist had to come and style the wig. So that was her role. So
I didn't know they had a double for something as simple as a car shoot like that.
But she was only there that day. I don't think she did the next day, because the next day was anything speaking or that required like close-ups of Janelle's, like maybe hands and stuff. But I feel like even her nails were painted the same way. But I don't think that they may have used her hands. I'm not sure if they actually used hers in some of the shots, but I know like some of the shots of her walking and stuff like that, they used the double for.
So what did you, working on a large project like that, what were some things you took away that you kind of able to use going forward that you've kind of kept in your back pocket?
Their storyboarding process. So I did actually, like, because I had a copy of it, I could really see how they laid everything out. Like a lot of my projects are on storyboard, but it helps me with the teaching.
Okay.
So that helps with the teaching. Even like the lighting, like the way that they did light, and I think I'm pretty good with light already. Okay. But just seeing it done at like such a large scale like that was crazy. The number of takes that they did. The sound, I think before that I wasn't really using boom mics, and that set made me start using boom mics for interviews. Because that was interesting itself, because I never knew how they really did that. So I was like, people are on set, I know they're not mic'd up, so it's the guy like walking, and they be like, all right, we're doing audio, everybody quiet on set, and you're like dead silent, like you can't do anything. And like, all right, cut, we got it. And then you talk for a second, rolling again, dead silent.
Let's get some room audio.
Yeah. So I was like, how do they be doing this when there's like a bunch of people on set, but everybody complied? They be like, be quiet, everybody's quiet. I think one time when we shot in the penthouse, that was the next day, somebody actually was like talking. They was like, quiet on set. Like they was, yeah. So she, so they like that was yeah, it was an experience just to see. And then see the final product, because I remember all the shots that they were getting, like, because I had to do B-roll and I was pretty much there with them getting a lot of the shots. So I remember all the shots, and I remember the storyboard and seeing it come together. I was like, all right, like this, like seeing that full production just really, really helps when it comes to any type of videography that I'm doing. Like it definitely helps.
So talk about some of the jobs that you've done, like corporate jobs and things like that.
Okay, so as far as corporate, a lot of these came from like previous jobs I've had. So when I left like the National Park Foundation, they didn't pull me for graphic design stuff, but when they saw I was doing like photo and video, they would pull me for that. So there was like one event they partner with different people. So they partnered with Blavity. So Blavity, they did like a little, I guess it was they called it like a meetup, teach up. Okay. So they're Blavity people, I think they're in LA. So they came here and we did like a huge like trolley tour to like different memorials and Black like monuments in DC. And they have like this ambassador guy that they use, so he basically did a tour. So we did like, of course, like MLK Memorial. Who else did we do? Mary McLeod Bethune. We did her. It was like a couple other sites we went to. So I partnered with them. And then since they were in town, they had another event with Bank of America.
Okay.
So they was like, shit, we already in town. We got this other event coming up. So they tapped me for that one too. And then also with them, I've traveled to like national parks. So we've done different things. I've had to do video capture for them to do. They get a lot of grants, right? Like the parks are funded, but they need other money too. And then they cut their budget all the time. So they have to get donations in, and then the donors want to see like, what's this money going towards? So they'll tap me and send me along with them just to capture like any type of program and stuff like that, just to show like that these funds are being used for this. So I've done that in Glacier National Park in Montana. I've done Mount Rainier in Seattle. That one was actually crazy because I actually had to like really camp.
I was about to ask you. It sounded like you had to do some serious
That one was a real camp.
camping.
Like, yeah. So we had to figure out how to like pitch a tent.
Wow.
And the kids out there had been out there for about 12 weeks. So they were pros. They knew they was cooking and everything. Like they were good. And they would be like, all right, it's a little bear family out there. So when
little bear family.
Right.
Little bear family.
When you brush your teeth, don't spit it out in one
What?
spot. Make sure you twist around. It was crazy. It was crazy. Like that was the first time like using the bathroom outside, the whole nine to capture like these kids out here doing like trail restoration and all kinds of stuff. Like that's what they're spending their summer doing. And then I went to like Big Thicket Park. That's in Texas.
Okay.
So they sent me out there too. And then other, I guess like kind of corporate stuff. This was actually like a one that Daryl threw me in and then prepped me correctly. So this was for Diva, one of the Real Housewives of Potomac.
Oh.
Yeah, so this was when she was doing like her own podcast. I think it was called like Not for Lazy Moms at the time, and she was pregnant at the time. And so VH1 was there. So I'm like, they got to get stuff for the show, so I'm trying not to be in their way. And they got this, they were out in like Bethesda, some place that they had this event for the podcast launch. And it's like a room full of people. I'm like, I got trash audio because I couldn't mic her because I didn't even see her before she started. So I got like trash audio, and they was pissed. Like Daryl was like, what the hell? So he was mad. He was mad. I was like, all right. I swear I can cut something from this. I was like, I can cut something. So I cut it, and she loved it.
That's one of the worst feelings to have is
and I was
something
fresh.
Don't go your way. Yeah, and you're
I was
thinking
fresh.
like, how am I gonna
he
fix
literally
this?
just taught me like, and like audio wasn't even part of it. Audio stuff ain't come until later. But he was like, yeah, you're supposed to mic her. And I think he told me like other ways I can get around it. If I couldn't plug into their soundboard, which I couldn't. So audio was like straight coming from the camera, and it was bad. It was bad. But I recovered that fumble. That one was a little rough. But as far as like my normal clientele, it's anywhere like small businesses. Well, as far as the graphic design stuff, so graphic design, small businesses, people who need anything. Some people need something as simple as like a birthday invitation, poster design. So that's like a full on. That can be anything really. Rebranding is or just branding period. That's what I love because that's when I can really encompass everything. Like currently, I'm doing, I think two like full on branding things like ground up. So that's design. Then I can do the branding photos, their video for them to put on the website design. So that's the stuff I love because it's, for one, it's more money. It's a longer process because I'm working with them for months just to build this thing up. But it just encompasses like everything. So those are my more ideal ones and the ones I'm trying to pull in more of. And then I get like the basic like engagement shoots.
Right.
I need this family session, stuff like that.
So do you feel like most of your business is mostly business to business situation where you're working with other entrepreneurs or other local businesses versus
For design, yeah.
for design?
Definitely for
Okay.
design. That's always business. It's every now and then something personal. Every now and then it's like, hey, I'm having this party. Can you do this invitation? But usually it's other small businesses.
Okay. Okay. And changing gears a little bit, how do you establish work-life balance, like personal life? Is it truly balanced there? I don't know. I don't have that.
I think I got a good balance on right now,
Okay.
just because it's fun for me still. So, and I think was like my biggest goal from this. And that's my goal in life period, is just like happiness. So if it's making me happy, like we going
That's a good way to think about it.
keep rocking with this. Which is probably why a lot of the like 9 to 5s ain't work, because it stopped being happiness only. So like right now it's good. My schedule with my daughter's schedule, like that's a different story. So I coordinate around her stuff right now. Like summer's cool. She's at her grandparents' house. So I kind of can just go out and do my own thing. And then during school, so I know book meetings while she's in school. She got extracurriculars, build that around my stuff. So I was like, okay, or build my stuff around that. It's certain days I can't do. Like I teach on Mondays and Tuesdays, so we gotta figure that out. So if she has an extracurricular, I gotta try to move it to another day, or just see if the timing works. Or hopefully like maybe like pull in her dad and be like, hey, can you handle this? And he's been like crazy supportive too, because I'm like, look, I'm not asking you for no money, so you can do this part. Just make sure she gets from A to B and she is good. Like she's 13, so it's not much watching at this point. You literally just gotta make sure she gets where she needs to be, and like she's breathing. Like that's it. That's all you gotta do. So he's been good with that. So if I need to pull him in, I will. But yeah, that's how we rocking so far. Like she's still been doing everything she wants to do. Like she still does dance. I'm trying to have her do swim classes, not classes, but actually like try to get her on a team because she loves swimming. And I'm trying to think. She's done a lot. Like she's done yoga before. She's done gymnastics. So whatever she's interested in, making sure she's good, and then I'll balance my stuff around hers. Sleep is another story, but I've always been like that. I'm up at night.
Okay.
So
you don't really have a set time where it's like that start kind of
start and stop.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll give myself like a stop time. I'm like, I'm going to stop at
yourself.
Yeah, but it's late. It's like 3 a.m. I'm like, I'm going to cut this off at 3. Like this is stopping at 3, so I can get a little bit of sleep.
So you're naturally a night owl. The world's quiet, it's peaceful. You can get stuff done.
Yeah, that's when I get like most of my stuff done. And I can easily, if I don't have anything to do, sleep till like 1 p.m. I can easily do that. That's why I prefer, and that's what I've been doing a little bit in the summer, not a lot. Other summers have been better, but when she has school, I get up with her. So I kind of just try to find a nap where I can get one. But as far as my scheduling, I can schedule around whatever, because they're like, okay, when are you free? And a lot of people I work with, they're 9 to 5 anyway.
Yeah.
So it's evenings and stuff when we're meeting, or on their lunch break or something like that. So it's easy to schedule that stuff. It's more so the stuff I've dropped the ball on is more so like the working out, or but I blame that on the pandemic too. I don't know if that's necessarily the full-time thing, but I think it's more the pandemic. But yeah, it's kind of, I think I got to a place where I was okay with balance. I was like, let me try to bring back the fitness stuff. So far that's been working out, but I know I got to readjust again when she starts school. So, but it's been like that since I've had her. So it's like, it's constant readjustment because they're growing. So their schedules change at this point more than mine. So it's always just been like constant adjusting. And then I had 2 jobs, was pregnant and going to school. So this has been my life now for years.
Yeah.
So it's been it's been a lot for years. So it doesn't seem that much now.
Okay, cool. So if let's say a young kid wants to get into doing design, photography, cinematography, what would be your advice to them?
As far as how to
If
start or just period?
if they want to do it as a profession, yes. Even if they already have a little bit experience in it, and they say, hey, I look up to you. You do you have your own business, things like this. I want to be like you. I want to be able to. I mean, what would you tell them? Where would you tell them to start? I know it's very
I
broad.
would tell them it's work.
Yeah,
it's work. First of all, it's work. I know the way it looks, but it's work. Yeah. It's work. So you gotta go in knowing it's work. First of all, it's work. It's not gonna be, oh, you got all these lights on this, or oh, you got to work with this person. Oh, I'm like, okay. It's work. Yeah. It's still work. Like, this is, of course, appreciate the victories, which I'm getting better at. It's been that's a hardest thing for me. That would be my advice to somebody coming in. Like, make sure you like stop to smell the flowers every now and then. Like that's okay. I think a lot of times I was like so much in like work mode. Yeah. Then I would just be like, yo, I really worked with Janelle on this thing, or I'll see the commercial. Somebody's like, oh, you helped with that. I'm like, oh yeah, I did. And like just pat myself on the back just a little bit more. And just tell them like stay at it and just, I guess, keep learning. That's the biggest thing. Like, keep learning. I think I'm always just constantly learning, but I've always had thirst for knowledge. Like, I love learning new things, learning new techniques, whatever. Like, I just have that natural thirst for knowledge. So I would tell them like just keep learning, just make sure like know that you can always improve. As far as where to start, you kind of just gotta take a leap of faith, to be honest. Like, that's kind of, I think, how a lot of people start. Like, you either get fed up and pushed into it, or you like take a leap of faith.
Right. So if somebody wants to get in contact with you as far as your classes, or they actually want to hire you, where can they find you?
You can hire me from, I'll give you my Instagram, but I will stop taking business requests via Instagram. But MD2Creatives is my IG. That's also my Facebook. Miesha Dennis, one altogether, no punctuation in there, is on Instagram as well. So I actually mix a lot of my business and personal stuff on that page as well, because this is my life. So that's just what I do. Email info@md2creatives.com. And I think those are all my contacts. And then as far as classes are through the Bakery Studio, which is from footprintphotos.com. So that is where the photography and cinematography classes are offered. So those are, I guess, like twice a year. So they run from like April to September, and then October to March. So
okay, all right.
I think those are all my handles. I haven't gotten TikTok yet. I'm trying to stay off of that. So no TikTok, but yeah, IG and Facebook I'm heavy on.
So where do you want to take your business in 5 years from here? What's the dream?
I don't have a dream. Like, it's mine's. I'm lame.
You're kind of going with where it's at now. You kind of see you're not planning out like the next 5 years. You're kind of just riding the wave and seeing where it takes you.
Yeah, I'm riding the wave, see where it's taking. I don't have a dream client. I don't have a dream job. I would just 5 years from now, I would just hope to still be doing it. It's bigger. It's thriving. I'm happy still. People are still entrusting me with building their brands up, or just simply capturing important moments in their life. So that's where I want to be in 5 years. Like, still creating, like art still in my public imaginary best friend now. So
okay. Anything else you want to include? Any closing remarks?
Closing remarks? No, I think that's it.
Okay.
So last question: who's your favorite artist?
Bob Ross. Still to this day, Bob Ross. Always.
What about music artists?
Well, music artists too.
Music? I have a couple, so it'll still forever like be Tupac, J. Cole, Kendrick. I like Scarface.
Okay.
Nas. I'm kind of
Okay,
yeah.
like your New York rap, like
New
your
York.
lyrical.
Scarface, not New York.
No, but he
Yeah.
said, well, Tupac-ish. You know, he
Tupac
jumped
was
around.
born in New
He
York.
jumped around. You know, he's from Baltimore, and then he's a
He's
little bit.
well, he's from New York. Lived in Baltimore. Moved to LA, but I don't know if it's New York per se. I think it's because I like. Well, no, because I was about to mention Joey Badass, who's New York as well.
Okay.
No, I just like people that talk about stuff.
Yeah.
I like people
Substance.
they talk about stuff that again is meaningful to me. Not saying that mumble rappers don't talk about stuff. They talk about stuff that's important to them, but that's not the same importance that I hold.
And we already know your favorite football team, so we know you
Eagles.
like the Commanders. So we established that.
Eagles, favorite basketball team. I don't have one right now.
Wizards. We have some openings.
Yeah,
We have some openings for fans.
They always
Come on,
have openings.
Disrespect.
I like players. I'm not heavy on basketball anymore, but I like players. But football is always gonna be Eagles.
Who stands out as like a favorite player in basketball?
I like Steph.
Okay.
I do like Steph. Just because he's kind of changed it. So I like guys who's changed the game. Like that's why I was a big like AI fan because he brought like the hip hop element to it. And then Steph is just bringing.
It's a love and hate relationship with Steph for me. It's because he changed the game, but it's also if you see new basketball players, if they have a open lane, instead of doing a layup, they'll stop at the 3-point and just break it. I'm like, come on, bro, you're not built for that.
He doesn't play defense, so it's like.
Well, he's got guys that play it for him.
Yeah, so you can't like he has his flaws, but I do like that because he's a little guy. And he's like, all right, I made this work. I like people who make stuff work for something that isn't like
it wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, that wasn't supposed to be intended. Regardless of your father and your background, like you was not supposed to be this.
Right. Nobody ever seen that coming.
So like, I like that.
Favorite restaurant or fast food spot?
Fast food. I'm a foodie, so it's like.
Oh boy.
So you don't really have one favorite spot. It's like
it's not because I'm a girl. I know it's this whole idea that women can't pick food, but no, I'm
not us.
You said it.
Our conversation. Well, what do you want to eat? What do you want to eat?
No, I'm a big foodie, so I love. It's really whatever I'm in the mood for. I'm doing this keto diet, which is working for me because I already love food, so I'm not really getting rid of stuff I don't like, or naturally eat already. Mine is like the bread. Like I do miss the carbs, but I like Chipotle. I like tropical smoothie. Talking about fast foods, right?
Yeah.
Tropical smoothie. I think Chick-fil-A is overrated.
Depends on the sauce. It's all about the sauce.
I think Chick-fil-A is overrated. Yes.
Over what?
Just the
you
way
can't pick a Wendy's or something and say that they're better.
I just think it's overrated. Period. Like their customer service isn't, but I think in general they're kind of overrated. Like, would I rather go there? Would I rather have like some real fried chicken? But I know you said fast food, but it's like, would I go there or would I go to Popeyes? I'll probably go to Popeyes over.
Really?
Yes, I would.
Get that family special.
Yeah, I'd rather have
dark meat.
Right, I'd rather have some thighs versus no chicken tenders.
Yeah. All right. Favorite movie?
Ooh, movie. One? I'm not good with ones. Ones are not.
Pick one from the past and one maybe present. The top 5.
Oh, I have a few.
Throw a couple out.
Why am I blanking on the name? The Brazil movie that's in subtitles.
Brazil and subtitles.
Mm-hmm. Huh? Yes. Yes. What did you call it?
No, it's not Children of God.
It's something of God.
Something of God. Oh, City of God.
Yes, City of God. Okay. That is probably my. I'm not gonna rank them, but
I haven't even seen it.
You need to. You
Yeah, I
need
haven't
to.
seen it.
I feel like that has a 10 on
Yeah, my wife talks about it. And I
IBDM.
have just one of those movies I feel embarrassed to say, yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I feel like that has a 10 on like Rotten Tomatoes and stuff.
Okay.
Like I feel like it has all. Yeah, I think that's my. That's one. This is tough. I'm trying to think of movies I watch all the time. Friday's on there.
The first one, of course, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't mess with that ones.
Let's
Other ones come on TV.
clarify
I just be
that.
like, whatever. I don't watch those. Yeah, first one.
Star Wars.
You know what? I watched Star Wars fairly recently.
What do you mean? Like
I know I'm a
the
whole
original,
artsy and graphic
the original.
major and all
You
that.
just seen the original?
Before they released the new three set.
Okay.
Yeah, and I only watched it because I like John Boyega. Like I remember him in Attack the Block. So I was like, all right, they about to put him in this. All right, cool. And I was like, I think I probably gotta watch these other ones. And I hadn't.
Of course, you can't.
Yeah, so I mean, it was cool. But somebody, I know people, cool. So they told me what order to watch in, so I watched it in the right order.
Okay.
And then I hate the way Disney did his character, so now I'm kind of I'm not messing with Star Wars like that. I don't know. This is a tough question. Throw some out there. It might spark something.
Clockers. I don't know. New Jack City, Soul Plane.
My favorite.
Favorite movie?
Broad.
Depends on what type of movie I'm in. Like if I'm looking for a comedy. Or something.
I think I have more so kind of favorite television series. More so. Me personally.
I think so too.
So what would be one of your favorite
television series?
Yeah.
Game of Thrones. Really?
No, it was hard.
Maybe you'll like the dragon one. The new series they're about to do, because you don't need to.
I know it's good. I just don't know.
I mean, they ruined the last season, but most I don't know. A lot of TV series now, they kind of they don't live up to the end, which sucks. Like Walking Dead is one. I've stopped watching that.
I didn't drag that one to finish that one. I plan on going back and finishing.
They dragged it out too far.
Yeah.
It's like just let it go.
Yeah. So what are they on season 10 now? And I think this is the last season, but I was like really into that until like they just started doing too much with that.
I did start watching what's the other one? The spinoff one. What is it?
Oh,
Dead.
No, it's Walking Dead, but it's Fear of the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I did get into that one. I like that one. I
heard that one's still good.
Yeah, I haven't finished it yet, but it hasn't dropped off for me at all. So I was like hoping that may get me back into watching the other one too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a sci-fi kind of person, like Star Trek and stuff like that.
I can't do.
You gotta give it a try. You gotta go back.
I can't do
the track
Cleons and all that.
Captain
I think
Picard.
that's like what, and it's crazy. It's like I love like astrology. I love the stars, but I could not get into like those kind of shows. Like I think that's probably why I didn't do Star Wars for a while. I don't watch this shit. Like what is this?
It's not the same.
Stranger Things, I love.
They're
Ozark.
like grown men now.
Ozark.
No, the kids grown up. They look old now. Like come on, man.
Yeah, it's the pandemic slowed down their production. I haven't watched Ozark yet. Like lately, I've been waiting for stuff to be completely done.
Yeah,
so I can binge it. So I'll get to that one. Other shows I did watch. What's the show? The writing of it was amazing because they jump around with the timelines. Mandy Moore. What's that? That damn show.
Mandy Moore.
It's on
It's on Netflix.
No, this is on regular TV.
Ah.
It just finished.
Yeah, I don't watch regular TV.
With the family, everybody talk about it.
Family.
Why am I blanking on all this stuff you're asking me about? You're right. I don't even know who Mandy Moore is.
Mandy Moore. I'm gonna look that one up now, just to see what the name of it is.
He don't know either. It got a Sterling, the black guy, Sterling. Huh? Yes, This Is Us. This Is Us. That has great writing. So they jump around from different like time periods and stuff, and the way that they bring everybody back together. It's kind of like a Crash little thing. I like Crash too. Crash was cool. I like Spike. Of course, I like Spike. What have I seen recently? I really liked.
You know, one
I
show.
did see Nope. Nope was good.
Nope. Is that on? That's on TV as well.
No, the movie.
Oh, the Jordan that just came out. Okay,
that was good.
You know what show? The Wire is one of my favorite television series because it's one of the few shows that I'll go back every couple years and I'll rewatch it. Just when you were talking about writing, and I'll pick up things that I didn't notice prior to that. What?
It's on my list.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I thought she was gonna say it was trash or something.
No, it's on my list.
I was like, you really? But it's on your list
because it has all my favorite people in it. Like eventually I'll get to it.
Because most people
do they show like the actual drug? I can't do drug use stuff. They don't show drug use, right?
They do.
So they got people like
Bubbles.
Yeah,
Bubbles went hard in there.
Bubbles, the character later on, like you see the effects, but yeah, I don't know if they.
No, with him in the
Yeah.
Oh, injecting themselves. Yeah.
But
There's some stuff.
Not
a lot.
It wasn't
not a lot. The thing is, a lot of people when they think of that show, they just think, "Oh, it's some shoot 'em up." Like, no, it's one of. To me, it's one of the most well written shows.
I heard it's probably like top. Like they kind of got that as like their top show period. But no, it's on my list. But I didn't watch it originally because I can't do like black people with drug use. Like that's not. Yeah, I can't do that. Oh, I do watch SVU. I'm real heavy on the SVU. I feel like I've seen those.
SVU, what's that?
Law and Order.
Oh,
so it's a special victims one.
What, Ice-T in it?
Yeah.
I can't take Ice-T serious.
He's a horrible actor, but I love
he's
like my top
he is
5
like
worst
he
actors.
is.
He's been on it for a long time, man.
Since the beginning.
Oh, since the beginning, he's been on it.
He is a terrible actor.
Yeah, I put him up there with like Steven Seagal.
Gotta be some good
and
checks
stuff.
though.
Terrible actors.
Oh my god, he's
you don't like
horrible.
Steven Seagal? Maybe as a kid it looked fine, but I haven't gone back to see Steven Seagal as an adult, so I probably might look back and be like, oh, this is what I liked.
One with him and DMX, like that joint.
Yeah, I was like, cringe.
Yeah,
that was a money grab movie, I think, because it was like DMX was popular at the time, so they're like, oh, let's put him in this movie.
And he's doing karate and stuff.
And
like, come on, man. Like,
right?
Be serious.
What's up with you and Tim's? You don't like Tim's?
No, I ain't got nothing against the butters. Everybody has some butters.
But yeah, Wire's on my list. Okay. It's on my list.
Any favorite albums? I know you talked about artists, but like any favorite albums in particular?
I love Purple Rain. I love
Asses Chaps, the Purple Rain.
I love albums I listen to from front to back. I wish you would have told me you was asking me this stuff.
It's gotta be more natural.
I know I can't.
So if you get in the car right now, what are you gonna listen to? Like what's playing? What was playing most recent in your car?
Recently was just I'm not Beehive at all. Beyonce new album. Only because I've been working out, so it's like a super great up tempo. So that's just what's lasting on my playlist. Latest Kendrick album. I think I've been listening to that one pretty heavy.
Okay.
I
wasn't a big fan this time.
You didn't like that one? It's certain songs, so it's like someone there.
Yeah, it's got some stuff.
Yeah. So that.
Joey Badass got a new album. That's pretty good.
I love Joey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Joey. I think he's very underrated. Favorite album though.
Well, all time. It doesn't have to be a recent album. It can be like those my go-to albums or go-to.
I got songs. I don't know.
Okay, songs.
Depends on my mood. It's yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I think what I always like just kind of find myself stumbling onto constantly is more so Tupac. Like it's kind of always that'll pop up on my playlist or something that I wanna, like a Tupac song I wanna listen to.
So what's your favorite Tupac album? Was it like the early Tupac, like Tupacalypse, or was it more of his later stuff?
I love Me Against the World. That's one of my favorites. All Eyes on Me is pretty good too. But I think out of like my albums for him, it'll probably be Me Against the World because that's like one of the first ones I listened to in like at the youngest age where I really so that's probably even still like one of my top albums. Yeah. So I'll put that up there. And then Nas, I was like really heavy on Nas early. My favorite rapper when I was little was was Mace. Mace was like my favorite rapper of all time. Like you couldn't tell me anything bad about Mace.
It was in elementary school when he came out.
Got the album from Circuit City.
Yeah, I didn't even, as a kid, I was just like, what's this pop bubblegum guy? And I just wasn't.
I was Mace all day. You couldn't tell me anything bad about Mace.
Was this Mace with Diddy or like the early Mace or the Mace after he got saved and everything?
No, this was strictly Mace with Puff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was strictly
Puff was taking advantage of him.
Yeah. Yeah, now he done. Yeah. I can't stand Diddy. I think he's a terrible human being.
Take that.
I do. I think he's a horrible human being.
Why do you think he's a horrible human being?
The way he just like take people money and just his business methods, I think he's a horrible person.
Craig Mack.
Yeah, all these people under you who you like, surprisingly enough, like Janelle is under Bad Boy.
Oh, she is?
But she got some type of deal where he is not touching any of her stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but she's under. She got a good deal, but
most of them
she's probably one of the only ones who.
I mean, even Shine. look what we did to Shine.
Well, Shine's about to. Isn't he running? He's in Belize, and he's about.
Yeah, but look what he had to go through. Man's in jail because of him.
Yeah, he had to take a rap. Take a charge for
Black Rob. He got broke.
Pass.
He died. Yeah,
what happened to Biggie?
Mm-hmm. And then you remember? I remember the Lots. They was about to run up on him.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they was like, "You gonna give me my money?" I remember they did an interview with Angie Martinez, and they was going off, and he called up there, and they was cussing him out. They was like, "You be having security, and we be trying to talk to you," and he was just like, "Y'all can come to my office." He was like, you be having security everywhere." So I'm not a big fan at all. And then my first rap album was Timbaland Magoo.
Oh, Magoo! Wow,
y'all remember Magoo?
Yeah.
What is he doing now?
I don't know. Know what he's doing.
Yeah, that was my first
Magoo.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that was one of your favorite albums as a kid.
No, I just had my
that was
first,
your first.
Yeah.
I think everybody looks back at maybe that first tape or album they had and like, why was I into this?
Yeah.
You remember when we first got that? It was a tape. It was Crucial Conflict. Hey in the Middle of the Barn.
Yeah,
that was one of the earliest ones.
And then what's that? Coolio.
Yeah.
And then E40 and all that stuff.
Oh, I hate E40.
Yeah. My wife hates E40.
Oh my God.
I tease her about making the voices and stuff, and she can't stand it.
A goopa gop.
He was good early on. You gotta listen to his early stuff, not his late.
The Sprinkle Me.
Yeah, all the early stuff. He didn't do all of those weird stuff like what's that? You're a jerk or whatever. All that the hyphy stuff that came out later on. The hyphy movement. Yeah, that was later.
He makes me cringe. I cannot stand E40. Every time he's on something, like, who put him on this? Why?
He put himself on it. He runs the whole West Coast. He put himself. He said, if you're gonna do this record, no, you gotta feature me on it. Like I run things here. So. Well, really appreciate having you on.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. Hopefully we'll have you back for a part 2. See
how my business unfolded in the ground.
No, it will see how it's grown and everything. So don't, when you get to Hollywood, you don't forget the small people like us.
I don't want to go to Hollywood. I've seen too much.
You already been there.
They've been there.
Too many things. But no, thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. We appreciate it. Thank you.